What's up? What's up? Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. What's up? Good morning. Good morning. What's up, everyone? Yeah, hope you guys are doing well. Today is October the 1st. Excited, brand new month, brand new quarter here as well, Q4. We have a decent amount of things to go over. Hope you guys joined the live session yesterday for day three. We actually did not have the pre-market prep yesterday because we did that for day three. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that event, and we provided a bunch of a bunch of value. If you guys did not receive, if you guys actually haven't watched it, make sure you guys sign up for the waitlist or make sure you sign up for the waitlist that we did have so you guys can get the recordings because I think there's a lot of things that we did in there that you guys should definitely. Absolutely awesome. Thank you. Event was amazing. Awesome. Glad to hear. Yeah. If you guys haven't seen it, you guys should see the recording. So you guys should get emails of that and then you guys can take a look at that. Sweet. Yeah. Good morning. What's up, everyone? Hope you guys are doing well. Good morning, Sal, Jen, Victor, Jeff, Wayne, I am, Monty, Majid, True, Sinna. Good morning, Ryan, Vic, Kenneth, Captain, Martin. Good morning. Good morning, Robert, 50, Telmo, Audrey, Norwin, Willie, Hector, I am, Beirut, Snow, Juan, Eileen. Yeah, what's up, everyone? Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. Okay, let's get into the live session. Can I join Trader's Edge? Awesome. Glad to hear. Didn't receive it. Yeah, if you guys didn't receive it, make sure to go watch the recording. You guys should have already received emails. Actually, some of you guys were asking that you guys didn't receive any emails or originally we did have some technical difficulties with the webinar jam, so make sure to that's actually a good thing. Make sure to, if you did not get the email, I think the best is to either sign up for the waitlist again to see if you get the and kind of re-opt in to see if you can get the email. If you don't, then you can potentially email me and I'll send you the recordings. Okay, let's head on to the major indices. Actually, before we do that, let me actually go on to the Forex Factory and then I will get started here. Can I join traders? Only if you watch it. Make sure to watch the recordings that we do have handed out. So if you're on the email list, you should have recordings for all 3 days and then you can check that out. We'll also talk about, yeah, anyone that's in Traders Lab, we're going to have some more information. Make sure to join the Circle. We have a link in for Circle, and then you also have access to the accelerator as well. Got the email but couldn't see the recording. You should just keep an eye out on for more emails. I think yesterday's email sent potentially was just day three, but we're going to send out an email with all 3 days. Awesome. Okay. Let's head on to let's take a look at the red folder news coming into market open. So coming into today, what we have is ADP non-farm enrollment. That is going to be right at 8:15. So so we have 10 more minutes until some red folder news here. So we'll just wait to see how this affects the market. It is going to be in about 10 minutes. And then of course at 10 a.m. we do have ISM. So we have to keep this in mind. So today some red folder news in about 10 minutes. And then we do have some more red folder news at 10 a.m. So today most likely going to be a little bit more cautious. So we'll see how the market opens up and we'll see kind of the reaction that we have with these red folder news events. And then you can see tomorrow you have unemployment claims that should be at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we have some more red folder news here as well in the overall market. So we will go over some charts here and then we will wait for the first. Yeah, we'll go over some charts here and then we'll just see how the market opens. Okay, let me bring up some charts. Let me go on to these higher time frames as well. Good morning. What's up, everyone? Let's see. Sorry, I have a few questions. So you did a challenge, lots of value. Thanks, Jack and Tony. Fantastic event. Can I send you a DM in Discord to ask you a question? Yeah, you can send me, or you can open up a help ticket in the Discord. Okay, let's go into the 1 hour chart. So first things first, let's go into the ES. As you can see here, really, we kind of been inside of last week's range. I have a couple levels drawn out, so not as clear, and we're kind of inside of the middle of the range here. So the key level that I personally had marked out was your Friday's high. So your Friday's highs was key here. And you can see what we have is multiple touches. So we have multiple touches. We have Friday's highs. I wanted to see this level be used as support. And I can see we had this nice kind of continue push higher here in the after hours. So in the after hours, we actually had a pretty big move, right? We kind of had this pop up and towards your Monday's highs. And then we ended up gravitating all the way back down in towards the lows. And now you can see we're right back in towards kind of its previous day's range. So yesterday, or sorry, kind of in the overnight session, we had a pretty big move towards upside, pretty big move towards the downside, and now we're back in the middle of the range. So if we go into the lower time frames here on the 15-minute, right, you can see markets defending kind of that Friday's highs from last week, and now we're reclaiming this level and we're back inside of its previous day's range. So coming into today here for the ES, we had a decent amount of volatility. We'll keep an eye out on 8:15. Plus, we have some more red folder news here at 10 a.m. So what I like to see really coming to today is the reaction that we have off of your 6,700. We'll talk about the SPY levels here in a second, but 6,700 is going to be key if you want to see some more upside, right? Higher lows be built. This is also your Friday's highs here as well. If we get underneath your 6,700, potentially we can see a little bit more downside back down in towards this pre-market low here, which is going to be this 6,680. So that's what I have for the ES. For the SPY, I think the levels are a little bit cleaner here, but the key levels that we have marked out is going to be this 662. So you can see we have a touch here, right? Multiple touches. This is now also your Friday's highs from last week. It's your previous day lows. It's your Monday's lows. So this is a very clear level here for the SPY chart. If you want to see some upside, maintain above your 662 for continuation towards the upside. As for price action from yesterday, you can see this is your all-time highs. Came fairly close to your all-time highs yesterday. A little bit of rejection, so now you can see we're kind of back right into that 662. But coming to market open, the levels that I mentioned, 662 is going to be key here for SPY. Some scenarios that I have is really the bounce off your 662 for continuation towards the upside. Another break is going to be the break back above your 664 for continuation towards your all-time highs and your previous day highs, 666.50s. So we have two scenarios here. We have your bounce, which is going to be off of your previous day low, or it's going to be the reclaim back above. Now it's going to be this 664.50 here. So that's what we have for the SPY coming to market open. Other possible scenarios here as well is the rejects off of our 664. I'm not interested in kind of this pop and fade off your 664. The only way I'm leaning more towards the downside is if it could break underneath your previous day lows. If it could break underneath your previous day lows, that would also be your Monday's lows along with your last Friday's highs as well. So that's what I'll be interested in for some downside underneath your 662. Besides that, I'd much rather be looking for either the bounce off previous day lows or it's going to be the reclaim back above your 664. Currently, we are inside of the middle of the range. So as I mentioned, we'll see what happens with the overall markets. We do have some red folder news I will talk about here in about 6 minutes. Plus, we do have some red folder news ISM that is going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is what I have for the SPY today. Take a look at this. Take a look at the levels. 664.50s along with your 662s. Sorry, 662. All right. Let's go into the NQ chart. Let's go into the hourly chart here for the NQ. Key levels that I have is the exact same thing. We had that Friday's highs from last week marked out. You can see nicely kind of how it defended here yesterday. Nice push towards the upside, but ultimately was not able to get above a couple key levels. And then in the overnight session, pretty big move towards the downside, but overall still fairly bullish. Why? Because we're making higher lows. Higher time frames is still very much intact. We're creating more of a flag pattern here on the overall indices now. You can see kind of this upper trend line that we have multiple touches. We have the bottom trend line here as well. So we have a lot of liquidity being built up to both sides now. NQ is defending a very key level, most likely going to consolidate a little bit more. And then if we want to get that all-time highs break, it's going to be that reclaim back above that 24,920. But let's go into lower time frames. The key levels that we have marked out coming into today, fairly clear. It's going to be your previous day lows, which is this 24,760. You can see multiple touches here in the pre-market, in its previous days. So far, we're getting that reclaim back above. What I'd like to see is now just maintain above that 24,760 for this potential continued pushback towards the upside. Next levels is really going to be your previous day highs along with this after hours highs here as well. So what I would like to see is for the NQ to maintain above this 24,760 for a potential move back up and towards your previous day highs. This is really the only scenario for a long towards the highs. Another potential scenario, if you want to see some downside, is now going to be underneath your previous day lows. Underneath your previous day lows, it would break structure on the lower time frames. You would see some more weakness underneath this 24,760 for a potential move back down in towards your overnight lows, being that 24,620. So key level today is going to be that previous day lows here for the ES along with the NQ here as well. So this is what I have marked out for the NQ. If you can maintain above, continuation back in between its range and potentially its previous day highs, get underneath the previous day lows, you could potentially see the overnight lows. Let's go into the QQQ chart. Fairly similar thesis here. As you can see, the levels that I have marked out, Friday's highs, we have your previous day lows, very key level in the overall markets. Now, what we like to see, right, a little bit of a drop here in the overnight session. Now for the overall QQQ, maintain above your 596. If you can maintain above your 596, potential move back up and towards your 600. Another possible scenario now, break above your 600 for this continued push back up and towards your Monday's highs and potentially above, being that 603 all-time highs. So if you want to see a push higher, maintain above your higher lows, right? 596, or now it's going to be the break above your 600 for continuation towards upside. So that's what we have for the overall indices coming into today. As I mentioned, I am only interested in shorts, or I'm going to lean a little bit more towards the downside if you can break underneath your previous day lows. If you cannot break underneath your previous day lows, then expect the overall markets to hold above your previous day lows and potentially gravitate higher back towards upside. So that's what I have coming to market open, at least for the major indices. We do have some red folder news, as I mentioned, in about 45 seconds here. ADP non-farm enrollment, and then we have ISM here at 10 o'clock. So we will most likely just wait for the next 30 seconds. We'll see how the overall market reacts to price. And then, of course, we'll go over some of the tech names that we have coming into market open. Gonna grab some water here really quick. If you guys are enjoying this so far, I appreciate if you guys drop a like. If you guys haven't joined the daily watch list, of course, that's in the description below. And if you guys actually haven't seen the event, you guys can join. I'm not sure if I still have the link up, but you guys can watch the recordings. We'll post the recordings and we'll send them out as well. Also, if you guys do have any charts or any tickers, I guess you can drop them in the chat now and I will go over them. Actually, I'll go over these tech names first and then I'll go over the other names as well. What's up? Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I think my stream, before there was like, I forget how it works, but on YouTube, I think the stream, depending on your latency, you can have like a really short delay. Sometimes it's like 30 seconds, but then sometimes it's like 5 seconds, which is weird. All right. Let's see. How do you get in the indicator that's included with Traders Live? The link is okay. Yeah, don't click that link. We'll have more information out soon. Today we'll talk about the indicator and then make sure to book your implementation as well. So we'll have all that on Circle, Jay. So make sure to go onto the Circle. You guys should have a link to that, and then you should claim access to Circle, and we'll have more information on that very soon. Good morning. Nothing happened. Let's see. What do you think? What do you think how indices will perform in this month compared to last? Okay. Oh, the numbers just came out. Let's see how it affected the overall markets. It does seem like the markets is dropping just a little bit here, just based off of the 80. So we're actually still fairly bullish. So we're actually dropping here, but we're coming right back into key levels. But as you can see, ADP non-farm enrollment. So ADP non-farm enrollment just came in. The numbers came in forecasted was 52K, came in a lot lower than expected, negative 32K. So now you can see overall market dropping a little bit here towards the downside, but we're still technically bullish because we're above now its previous day lows. So this, as I mentioned, is going to be key if you want to maintain some upside, maintain above that previous day lows. If you can get underneath your previous day lows, then we could see some more downside back down in towards that overnight low. So that's what we have here on the overall indices. We'll see what happens coming into market open, but the numbers came in a lot lower than expected. We'll see how that shapes up. We still have ISM later. We still have ISM later into today. So key levels, we already have the major indices marked out. Now let's go on to some tech names and what we have coming to market open. Let's see, let me kind of read this as well. Can you do a video explaining how to map out your key levels? Tony showed us his key levels yesterday, but he doesn't do them as a whole. So basically it's the exact same thing, old highs and old lows. So every single old high and old low should be marked out. And then I like marking out from the wick to the body. So Tony just draws out levels, right? He does what's best fit. So if the wick is the best fit, then that's going to be the key level that he's going to draw, just the wick. If the body's the best fit, then he's going to draw out the body. In my case, I'm going to draw out the wick to the body because it just makes it nice and easy. Because some people always ask, right, are you going to draw out the wick or are you going to draw out the body? I'm just going to draw out the wick to the body. So it's a nice area. So it's an area of price. It's the exact same thing, but it's just going to be the wick to the body instead of just the straight line. But it's the exact same thesis. So coming into today, what do we have here on Tesla? So Tesla, you can see higher lows are being built. Let's just kind of remove these drawings here. Overall, this still looks very, very bullish, right? Hasn't had any significant pullback or any sort of bearish price action whatsoever. You can see Tesla, nice push towards the upside. Higher lows are now being built. Key level that we'd like to see a break above is going to be your 445. If you can break above your 445, that is going to push this back towards the upside here on the overall market. So that's what we have coming into today, right? Other levels that we have marked out. Let's actually just turn back on the drawings here. So for Tesla coming to market open, let's go into the 15-minute chart. Key levels that we're going to have drawn out is going to be this 444. So this is our last week's highs. You can see it's a key pivot level here from Monday. And then we also have multiple touches here as well from yesterday. So for some upside here on Tesla, we have two scenarios, right? Either the break above your previous day highs, hold above your previous day highs for continuation right off the bat, right? We could see your potential Monday's highs here, 450, right? Keep in mind, we already hit your 450 here on Monday. But if you want to see some upside, number one, break above your previous day highs. It's going to be the most bullish sign for a push higher. Another scenario is going to be that bounce off the 440. Bounce off the 440, potential push back up towards your previous day highs here is in play as well. Do I like this as much as the first scenario? Not really. I'd much rather see the break above your previous day highs for continuation towards your Monday's highs. This is still technically bullish if you could bounce off that 440 for this pushback towards the upside. Tesla, not something I do want to short. Higher time frames bullish. Intraday bullish as well. Most buyers have been stepping in. I would lean a little bit more towards the downside if you can break back underneath that 440, but not as interested now. I would personally like to see it at a minimum break 440 and then potentially really underneath that previous day low. So I'm fairly bullish here on the overall, specifically bullish here on Tesla, as long as you can maintain above key levels 440 and potentially break above your previous day highs. All right, so this is what I have here for Tesla. I'll leave this on the screen for about a second. Okay, now let's go on to NVIDIA. NVIDIA, one of my favorite watches. I've been talking about this for a while here now. Hopefully some of you guys were able to catch this one yesterday just based off the higher time frames. But you can see what we had coming into, this is the 1 hour chart. So you can see we've been consolidating for NVIDIA for a very long time, really all the way back from August. So we've been consolidating for the better part of the past about 2 months here, right? Pretty big range, but what we have here is your range that we have established from your 184 previous all-time highs. We had kind of the low of the range here as well. So yesterday we finally broke outside of this range that we have, your previous all-time highs. So what I like to see now here on NVIDIA is for it to start trending. So what we have is your previous all-time highs. Now we broke outside of it yesterday. I like to see NVIDIA maintain above your previous day highs and your previous all-time highs for continuation towards the upside. In my opinion, this after the breakout, right, higher lows are being built. If NVIDIA can maintain now above that 184, we have a lot more continuation towards the upside just based off of the daily chart and the higher time frames, right? You can see potential now break above, especially if this weekly candle along with this daily candle closes strong. We can see a lot more continuation towards the upside after this long consolidation. Right, higher lows being built, consolidation, break above that 184. If you can maintain above that 184, daily time frame bullish, weekly time frame bullish, basically every time frame is bullish here. So what I'd like to see, maintain above that 184. That's going to be the key line in the sand today. This is the level that I have marked out, previous all-time highs. This was from last week here as well. So if you can maintain above your 184, right, maintain bullish for continuation towards the upside. So you can see higher time frames, right? This is a very key level here for NVIDIA. I still have some contracts over from yesterday. I want to see if you can get that continuation towards your previous day highs. If you get above previous day highs, a lot more room towards the upside. If NVIDIA breaks underneath your 184, then I'm going to be less bullish. So that's going to be key here. Previous all-time highs 184.50. This is the only level that matters today. Your previous all-time highs 184.50. Let me just remove some of these levels here as well. So the only level that matters today, 184.50s. The only level on the chart. So we'll see if NVIDIA, you can see so far in the pre-market, kind of buyers stepping in right off our key level. So as long as you can maintain above this, this is what it looks like on the lower time frames. Either the bounce off your 184.50, or now it's going to be right opening range break, continuation back up and towards your previous day highs and above. So this is what we have coming to market open here for NVIDIA. As I mentioned, this is going to be one of my main watches just because we broke out yesterday towards the upside. Now let's see if we can have continuation as long as you can maintain really above this 184.50. Even potentially it could dig a little bit deeper in towards your Monday's highs. But honestly, I'd like to just see this level hold for continuation higher. So this is what I have for NVIDIA. So make sure to keep an eye out on this one. This is going to be the main watch coming into market open. Now let's go into a few other tickers that we do have. AMD. AMD consolidating inside of this range. Not too much to talk about. We'd like to see the range break here on AMD as well. But you can see if you just look at the 1 hour chart or if you even look at the daily chart, this one's been consolidating a bit, but higher lows I'd like to see be built off your 150, right? The longer basis, we're going to have this nice continue push higher. If we can break back above your 162 with a strong candle close, potentially we can see this push kind of back towards the upside here. But we're going to need that strong candle close. Plus, we're going to need some strong price action here as well on the lower time frames. As for AMD, the key levels that I have marked out really is this 162. You can see we have multiple touches here. We also have your 165 here as well. Currently, higher lows are being built. We'd now like to see really reclaim back above your 162 for this continued push towards the upside. So this is what we have for AMD coming to market open, or now it's really going to be the break above your 165 for a push higher. I would be a little bit more cautious just because we're inside of this range. So until we can break outside of this range, I'll be a lot more cautious, right? Similar thing to kind of like NVIDIA. We've been inside of a range for a very long time. Now we're breaking outside the range. So let's see if we can start trending. All right, let's go over Google. Right, Google, not too much to talk about. Key levels that we have marked out on this name is your 248. We also have your previous pivot point, which is your 242. So for Google, a little bit of a pullback here after now filling this gap back towards the downside. So key levels I'd like to see reclaim back above 142.40s for a potential pushback towards the upside. If you still want to see maintained weakness, it's now going to be underneath this 242 for a potential pushback down in towards that 238. So that's what we have for Google coming to market open. Just keep an eye out on that. As for Amazon, this one's been lagging behind, relatively speaking, to the overall markets at all-time highs. Amazon's one of those names that has not hit all-time highs and has been kind of lagging the overall indices. Key levels that we have marked out now is just going to be this 221. This is the key line in the sand for me. I wanted to see really the reclaim back above. Ultimately, we're making lower highs, rejecting off this level. So for Amazon, as long as you maintain underneath this 221, I'm going to still lean more towards the downside here. 1 hour time frame is bearish. right? Lower highs have been put in this one. You can expect to continue back towards the downside. Only way I'm gonna expect Amazon to have any sort of move back towards the upside, reclaim back above that 221, break structure, and potentially continue higher. So key level on the 1 hour chart is going to be that 221. It's going to Apple. So Apple, this one showing a little bit of weakness here in the pre-market, but ultimately getting bought back up here. Higher time frames, in my opinion, still looks good. So Apple usually likes to do this, right? If you look at this on the daily time frame, it usually likes to consolidate quite a bit. And then eventually move, but you can see basing fairly nicely here on Apple on the daily time frame. All-time highs is in play here. If you can get above your 258, this looks really good in my opinion. Just going to take a little bit of a while. Once we do get that strong price action, I think Apple can have a really solid move back up and towards your 258 along with your all-time highs 260. Right? You can see big push higher. Now we're just going to base above your all-time highs. I'd like to see this all-time highs break here on Apple. 260s is going to be our next key level. At least for intraday price action, the key levels that we have coming into today is still going to be this 253. If you can maintain above your 253, I'd just like to see 253 hold for this continued push towards the upside. So this is going to be my key level, right? Higher lows being built. As long as you can get above your 253, maintain above your 253, we can see this continue push back up and towards your previous day highs and potentially above 257 here on Apple. So these are the key levels that I have marked out. If we break underneath, I'm going to be a little bit more bearish here, but overall higher time frames, in my opinion, still fairly bullish, and it is very much intact here on the higher time frame. So this is what I have on Apple coming to market open. As for Meta, this one's actually flipping. So Meta's flipping, showing a little bit more weakness yesterday, higher time frames, kind of pushing back towards the downside here as well. So for Meta, the key levels that we have drawn out is really just going to be all the way back down in towards this low that we created here last month on September the 2nd. So for Meta, this one's been showing a little bit more weakness the past kind of week. You can see lower highs are now kind of being built. We're underneath key levels now, which is your 745. Next key level all the way back down in towards your 722. So this is what we have here for the higher time frames. We're at 722 here on Meta. Not really too much to talk about on like Meta, Microsoft, and these ones. So that's what we have for Meta. As for Netflix, the key levels that we have as well is going to be your key pivot low. We also have your 1195. Not too much to talk about on this name. And then for Microsoft, this one's slowly pushing back higher. So you can see kind of push lower. Now we're kind of basing here. Higher lows are now being built. What I like to see on Microsoft is going to be the break back above 520. If you can break back above 520, we can see this continue push back towards the upside. So this is what we have here for Microsoft coming into today. The key levels that we would like to see now, break above 520 for this continued push towards upside. So that's what we have on most of these tech names here in the MIG 7. Now I'm going to go on to some other names here. So if you guys do have any charts or any tickers you'd like me to go over, I'll go over those charts now. If you guys are enjoying this so far, I appreciate it if you guys drop me a like. If you guys haven't joined the daily watch list, of course, that is free in the first link in the description below. Okay, let's see. How come Tony goes into the 1 minute to draw his levels? How come we go into the 15? It's just personal preference, right? Time frames. If you're drawing at intraday levels, like your pre-market highs, your pre-market lows, you can, it doesn't matter if you draw them on the 1 minute or the 5 minute, or sorry, on the 1 minute or the 15 or the 5, it's going to be the exact same level. Let's say if I was to draw my pre-market, previous day highs, right? I can be on the daily chart drawing these out, right? If you can see here, I can market this daily wick high and low, right? I can draw this out on the 1 hour time frame. I can draw this out on the 15, the 5, or the 1 minute time frame. It's still going to give me the exact same information because right here it's just a level, right? A level plotted out on the chart. If you maybe want to draw out areas, if you want to draw maybe the wick to the body, right? Give it a little bit more room, then you can use, right, the 15-minute chart, which is one of my favorites, right? You can just draw it from the wick to the body, because if you're on the daily chart, it's going to be hard to, you can technically actually see it also draw it from the wick to the body, which is nice here, right? On the 1 hour chart, wick to the body, you can actually see this. 15-minute chart, wick to the body, right? Even the 5-minute chart. So in this case, no matter what time frame you used, you could have got the wick to the body here, which is going to be my key level. Okay, sweet. Let's see. Scroll down. Hood. Let me take a look at some of these names here as well. Um, I guess my chat stopped loading. But if we join Palantir, I'll check that in a second. Let's see. How do you access live trading after signing up with Traders? So you have Traders Edge. If you sign up for Traders Edge, you'll have access to the Discord, and then all the live trading will be done in the Discord. We'll also send out a Zoom link. So let me see if I can pull this up. Oops, let me see. So this is the Discord that we have. So you'll have access to the Discord. Make sure to watch the start video here, and also make sure to book your implementation call with Hayden. So if you have your link to Circle, make sure you book your implementation call. He'll walk you through exactly what to look for, how to access the Discord, everything you need to know. So it's just an implementation, like a very small group session. So make sure to book that call with Hayden. But basically, once you get into the Discord, you'll have this page right here. So this is a welcome video. Make sure to watch this. But the live trading is going to be done if you scroll all the way down here in the trading floor. So at around 8:25, I'll start live trading in the trading floor. So you can join that, or right, it's going to be through this event at the top, right? You guys can also join this event here. And then also another scenario is we send out Zoom links. So sometimes Discord is buggy. So we'll also send up Zoom links every day as well. So make sure to send out this, make sure to join the Zoom link if the Discord is not working. Okay. Let me actually bring up, I'm going to have to go on my phone here since the chat's kind of bugging. But let me go over some names that I'm looking for. Let me actually just go over this real quick. Okay. Okay, I think the chat's working fine, I guess. I think it's starting to work fine. Okay. Yeah, if you guys do have any charts or any tickers, you guys can drop them in the chat now, and I will go over them. Okay, I guess it's starting to work now. Okay. Let's see. Let's go over Palantir first. Key levels that we have marked out. You can see Palantir has been inside this range. So Palantir, the past week and a half, we've been kind of just stuck inside of this range here between our 184 along with this 172. So we have multiple touches here on Palantir. What I would like to see now is going to be the break above your 184 for this continued push towards upside. Right, that's going to be the key. If you can break above that 184, we can see this nice push towards your all-time highs and above. Other key levels that we have marked out. I actually have a decent amount of levels marked out here on Palantir, but the only levels that matter in this case, 184 higher time frame key pivot level. And essentially we have the low of the range marked out, which is our 177. The other level I have marked out doesn't matter as much, but it's just basically equilibrium. So I have the high, the low, and then I have the middle marked out, which is our 180. So for Palantir, you can see coming to this week, let me see if I can refine the levels here. But for Palantir, the levels I'm going to have marked out, at least intraday, yeah, I'm just going to have marked out the 184 along with the 177. These are our key levels. And then really besides that, we're just kind of inside of this range. So Palantir, I'll be more cautious on just because we're kind of ranging here. We are building up higher lows. So what I would like to see eventually here on the daily time frame is this push up and towards your all-time high. So if you look at this from a daily time frame perspective, right, very bullish, right, higher lows. We had this pullback base, break and retest for continuation higher. So as you can see here, nice break and retest here on the daily time frame, reclaim back above key levels here as well. So for Palantir, this one in my opinion looks good for a push back up and towards our all-time highs, 190 here on the higher time frame charts. So this is what we have for Palantir. If we can maintain above your 172, you can see this push back up and towards your 190. A little bit of voice crack. So key levels that we have coming into today is going to be this 177 along with your 184. As I mentioned, what I like to see is either one of two things, bounce off this 177, or now it's going to be the break above your 184 for this continuation higher. At least for intraday, you can mark out just your previous day highs. You can also mark out your Monday's highs as well. But this is on the 1 hour chart. Let's go over Hood. Hood, very, very bullish. As you can see, really strong push the other day for continuation towards the upside. You can see on this daily time frame, nice kind of break and retest, higher lows being maintained. Really solid push up here on Hood for continuation higher. You can kind of see this extension play. So for hood, now on the higher time frames, key levels that I have marked out is just going to be your Monday's highs, 136.84. And then other levels that I can have marked out here now, you can mark out your previous day highs. I just mark out this general area, right? Our previous day highs along with this initial pop that we had here on hood, 143. So key levels coming into today. As I mentioned, I'm just going to draw out this. Monday's highs along with our previous day highs, 143. What I like to see really for hood, it's very bullish. You can see nice push up in towards yesterday's close as well. Now the next long is going to be above your 143 hold for this continued push back towards the upside, right? We are fairly overextended now, but we are at all-time highs. Keep an eye out on your 143 for continuation towards the upside. Another possible scenario is just consolidation and a potential break later into the session above your 143 for continuation. I probably like this one the best is the consolidation during market open and the break above later into the session. Whereas I don't really want to see this. You can also look for the immediate retest. I don't like this one as much, but this is still very much in play here as well. But it's going to be the 140, sorry, I think I said 183 before, but 143 previous day highs here on hood. This one looks fairly bullish and I do expect continuation. If you do have a little bit of a bigger pullback, potentially, right, hood could come all the way back down in towards that 137 and still be very bullish here on the higher time frame. So that's what we have for hood coming into market open. As for a few other tickers that we have, Intel, this one had news recently. Nice continue push higher. It's actually coming right back down in towards our key level of support now, which is the day that we had this nice push with the overall market. So for Intel, in my opinion, this is a higher time frame, nice break and retest. Keep an eye out on Intel coming to today, right? Break and retest off of the day that we had news, basically this news high candle. So if you can maintain above your 3340s, we can see this nice potential continue push back towards the upside. Similar thing kind of here, right? Nice push higher, base above your 28, nice continue push, right? This one break above. If you can retest this, buyer step in off your 43, potential kind of this downtrend break here as well. We can see this nice continue push back towards the upside. So for Intel, keep an eye out on your 33. This is your key level here on the higher time frames. You can see buyers are defending basically yesterday off of your previous kind of pivot low, and then you can see in the pre-market here as well. So for Intel, what I would like to see, buyers step in right off the bat, push this back towards upside. If you want to see another scenario now, break back above your previous day highs, 3420 for this continued push back towards the upside. So this is what I have here on Intel coming into market open. As for Oracle and the rest of the names, these ones have been staying heavy. So ever since we broke back underneath your 292, this one's been staying a little bit more heavier. You can see key level of support here turn into resistance. Now you can see kind of fading off of your 292. I'd be a little bit more cautious. Now the key levels that we have marked out was our last Friday's lows. This one currently being used as resistance for this continue push lower. Next levels that we have marked out on Oracle, still going to be this 284. And then we also have your previous day lows now marked out 276. So for Oracle, if you want to see some downside underneath your previous day lows for continuation, if you want to see a potential reversal, I personally like to see it now above your previous day highs, 284. So those are the levels I have marked out on Oracle. Let's scroll on some more charts here as well. AVGO, the key levels that we have marked out in this case, similar thing, kind of scenario to Oracle. What we have here is your 332. This is basically your earnings low. The day that we had earnings, this is the low that we have created currently now underneath your 332. If we can maintain, this is the line in the sand, right? Maintain underneath your 332, you can expect some continuation towards the downside. If you can reclaim above, potential reversal and play back above your 332. So that's the level that we have marked out on Oracle. This is really the only level that matters here on the hourly chart. The rest of the levels, right, just base it off of this 332 here on Oracle. Let me scroll down here as well. Let me go over some, it's actually already 8:41. Let me quickly answer some questions. I'll go over some names here. One when are we gonna get? You guys should receive email. So we'll have email soon. We'll have the recordings, and then we'll have more information on the ebook and the giveaways and everything in the emails either today or tomorrow. So you guys should make sure to check your emails to receive more information. Okay, INTC went over that one. Let me take a look at open here. So open's just been consolidating. As you can see here on the on the daily time frame, we're kind of just after this huge day, we've been consolidating in between your 7 along with your 1050. Now for open, what I would like to see is higher lows be built, similar kind of thing. It's building up liquidity. As you can see here, potentially we can have a pretty nice big move today here on open to either side. If you can break back above your 880, potential kind of push back towards the upside. If we break underneath this trend line, we could see potential move back down towards your 7 key cycle level here on the higher time frame. So multiple touches. We're having a pretty big move here soon on open, right? Liquidity is being built. So now we like to see, key levels for today is going to be your previous day highs along with your previous day lows. So mark out these levels. If you can break above, potential continuation up and towards your 860, break below, potentially we can see a move back down in towards your 730 here. This is for IWM. When are we going to get, sorry, I answered that one. I'm in circle and I don't see the implementation call link. So make sure that it's in so you have the circles chat. So you have the members chat. Hayden posted it. You have to scroll up just a little bit. I'll get him to post that link again. But it's basically a Calendly link where you can book in an implementation call. I'll see if I can try and find it, but make sure you're on circle. If you do need help, either open up a help ticket or you can ask Hayden for the link in circle. But that's for the implementation. If you don't have access to circle, you should have received it on your emails. For IWM, the key levels that we have marked out here as well. If you go on to the hourly chart, you can see higher lows. We're in a very key inflection point here for IWM. Our key level in this case, I think is your previous all-time high. So as you can see here, we're actually just coming right back down into the kind of this body here. But this is your previous all-time highs on IWM. There's actually too many levels. So let me just kind of draw this. If I was to draw this full daily chart, I would kind of just mark it out most likely just from this wick to the body. It's pretty big here, but this is the daily chart. We have multiple touches. You can see touch here, and now we're essentially using this level of support. If you go back onto the hourly chart, it is a fairly big level here, but this is the level that I have on the higher time frames. I personally like to see IWM maintain above your 240. If we can do that, we can see this kind of push back up in towards your 243 and potentially above here. So those are the key levels that I have marked out. Other levels I'm going to have marked out, just wick to the body. Also this FOMC high. And then I'm also going to mark out just this FOMC low. I can just drag this over. So 237, 240, 450, at least for this one. This is a pretty big level that I have drawn out. So you can really find this on the lower time frames. But ultimately, for IWM, you just like to see this 240 hold here on the higher time frames, just based off of the weekly chart along with the daily chart if you want to see continuation. Okay, it is 8:45 here. I do see some more questions, so I'll answer the questions and then I am going to get ready for market open. Let's do a quick little scan here. Let's see. Let me answer some questions here as well. Do we have delays like yesterday? No, it's just YouTube. YouTube, there's usually a 15-second delay or 30-second delay, but when we're on Zoom or on Discord, it's instantaneous. So for the levels coming to market open, as I mentioned, the exact same game plan still applies. Let's go into the SPY chart. Key levels that we have marked out. If it'll load, is going to be your previous day lows. So we talked about this one. Previous day lows, fairly key here. As long as you can maintain above your previous day lows, I'm bullish. And I like to see continuation higher. Another possible scenario, reclaim it back above the 664.50s. For the QQQ, it's going to be maintaining above your previous day lows for continuation. You can see a couple of reactions here in the pre-market so far. For the NQ, similar thing. Previous day lows, we like to see higher lows be maintained. And then for the ES, similar thing here. You can see a couple touches here in the pre-market above your 6704. As for my main watches coming to today, I already mentioned Tesla, key levels that we'd like to see, 445, either the break above your previous day highs for continuation or right the dip down in towards your 440 for this pushback towards the upside. And then we also do have NVDA, my favorite watch here, as long as you can maintain above your previous day highs. Let's actually just go into the 4-hour chart just to give us a little bit more context. But basically, as you can see here, look how many touches we have. Oops, we have touch here, 184, 184, 184, another touch. We like to see this level be used as support for this continuation higher. So the buyers for me, I want to see step in off this 184, right? Previous resistance, now I like to see this turn into support for this break and retest towards the upside. So 184, keep an eye out on NVIDIA today. This is going to be very key. 184 here, previous all-time highs for this continuation back towards your previous day highs and potentially above. All right, so that's what we have for NVIDIA. And then the rest of the names, yeah, those are primarily the main watches that I have coming to today. Apple showing some nice strength here in the pre-market. This is going to be one of our watches here as well. Keep an eye out on this one. Daily time frame looks really good. If you can get that break, we've been consolidating for the past couple of sessions here on Apple. So keep an eye out on Apple. It does seem like we're having some nice buyers here in the pre-market, kind of similar to yesterday, but let's see now, right? We kind of swept this low, higher lows are still being built. Let's see if Apple can get that push back up in towards your 257 and above. All right, so Apple's on watch as well. So Tesla, NVIDIA, Apple, main ones. Palantir, if you can break above your 184, and then Hood looks really good as well. I'd be more interested in that consolidation and that break above later into this session. Okay, 848 here. I'm going to answer some questions for anyone that I think a lot of people had some questions regarding the Trader's Edge. Let me scroll down here. How do I join Trader's Edge in Circle? So if you guys are in Trader's Edge, you guys should receive an email with the access to Circle. And of course, through WAP, you're going to get access to the Discord as well. So you just have to connect your Discord to WAP and you'll be able to get the roles in the Discord. And then of course on Circle, that's where we're going to be hosting the 14-day bootcamp. So make sure to get access for that as well. You should have emails sent. If you do need help, yeah, check your emails first, and then right, you can email. You can either email Tony or you can either email me, and we'll help you out for gaining access. But once you gain access, it's fairly simple. Book your implementation call, and it's going to be nice and easy. How do you manage the charts, your charts, weekly outlooks, and day trading? What's the difference? How do you manage your charts, weekly outlook, and day? It's just one's the higher time frames and one's intraday. But a lot of the times, it's just going to be based off of intraday price action. If you have a higher time frame thesis, then we're going to base it off of the daily chart. But all the levels in the thesis are basically the exact same. So we have the weekly outlook, which is basically just determining the bias. And then we also have, so that's determining the bias. And then we have the lower time frames, which is either the 1 hour, the 15-minute chart. We're forming our narrative. So the bias is just understanding, are we bullish, are we bearish? And then the narrative is, where are we going to be looking for trades from? Right, that's where I always mention, right, if we can break above your previous day highs, we can see potential continuation higher. If we reject off this one, then potentially we could see a push lower. So this is my narrative. So I'm building, right, where am I looking to take trades around from? This previous all-time highs, right? I'd much rather look for a long just because we're bullish, but that doesn't mean if it rejected off this level, you could see a little bit of a short position towards the downside. So that's basically framing the trades and where we're going to be looking to take the trades off of. Okay, let's see this. There's actually a lot of things. Okay, I missed a lot of things here as well. Okay. Let's see. So if hey, when you say the daily chart, does it mean that 1 day, 4 hours, 1 hour or something? No, the daily chart is the daily. So it's the one. So as you can see right here, just the daily, right? The 1 hour chart is the 1 hour, right? Daily is one single daily candle. Congrats on the event. Great show on P&L as well. Appreciate that. Sorry, I'll answer that question tomorrow. I don't have enough time for that one. Let's see, overall trend, 30-second delay on YouTube live yesterday. Does it still? No. Zoom, as I mentioned, Discord instantaneous. Can you do a video on your own watch list? Yes. Just basically these names as well. It's just the tech names and any these growth names that are hot. Apple moving. Do you use your indicator? Yes, I have it on my other screen as well. This is just one of the layouts that I have. So the indicator is based off of charts like intraday levels along with our just daily highs and daily lows. But when I'm marking out these key levels, so I just have it on a different layout. I'll show you exactly how to use it. I have a video once you set up the indicator. That's what I have. Can I still join Traders Edge? If you want to join Traders Edge, make sure to watch the recordings. We'll have emails sent out. Um, I don't have the link here, but if you have, I think we'll send out the link on some of the emails. So make sure to check out that. I have to reset my password every day for Traders Lab. What do I email? I'm not sure why that's the case. Maybe it's just you're typing in your password wrong. It's just circle, so you shouldn't have to do that. Okay. Private course. Do you think the government shutdown will affect the markets? Yeah, that one. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Obviously, the higher time frame is still bullish. We're still intact as well. I think it's a little bit of an overreaction. We'll talk about that. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, that was most of the questions regarding just the Discord or Trader's Edge. I see some other more questions here as well, but I do have to get ready for market open here now. I'll be back tomorrow, so you guys can just ask some questions tomorrow. And yeah, so I'm going to get ready for market open here today. As I mentioned, SPY and keys, keep an eye out on your previous day lows. That's going to be key. Tesla previous day highs, NVDA higher time frame main watch, and then Apple showing a lot of strength here in the pre-market as well. So we'll keep an eye out on this one. Apple actually probably going to be one of my main watches today. It does like to do this a lot, show a lot of strength in the pre-market, then just kind of die off. But Apple now, I'm going to bump this up to the top of the list along with NVIDIA, actually NVIDIA, Apple, and then Tesla. So we'll keep an eye out on these ones. And then yeah, and then we'll see what happens. Also to mention, we do have ISM, so keep that in mind at 10 a.m. But if these show a lot of relative strength, Apple higher time frame breakout, NVIDIA higher time frame breakout, Tesla similar thing as well. All right, that's gonna be it for me today. If you guys did enjoy that, appreciate if you guys drop a like. Also, if you guys haven't joined the daily watch list, of course, that is in the description below. And then I'm not sure if I have the wait list for the recordings, but if you guys have already signed up for that, you guys can go back into the old live streams and you can sign up for the wait list and you guys should get the recordings as well. Yeah, that's gonna be it for me today. Hope you guys enjoy that, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. All right, take care, everyone. Have a great rest of the day. Peace.